All right, there are many ways to connect modules to optimizers. The most typical installation type we see is one-to-one, so this calculation is super easy. So I look at my power max, it's a 300 watt module. My VOC is 39 volts. My current is 8.4 amps. I compare that after the record low calculation to my P320. Yes, this optimizer works with this module. I'm allowed to put different modules of different power classifications in the same string. In this example, we just have a string of 10 optimizers with 10 modules connected one-to-one. Our safe DC voltage is going to be around 10 volts, and again, that's 1 volt per optimizer. You can also use a 2-to-1 configuration in a series circuit. For example, if we're doing a retrofit or a upgrade, and the existing modules on site were a 185 watt module. So if I look at the voltage, at this example was a negative 20 degrees Celsius was the record low. The voltage was 34.4 volts DC. So I know that in a series circuit, voltage becomes additive, current stays the same. So 370 watts for 2 modules wired in series, 68.8 volts for 2 modules wired in series, and 8.4 amps for 2 modules wired in series. All of those values are less than the characteristics of a P405. So 405 watts, 125 volts DC, and 10.1 amps. This optimizer is compliant for this configuration. In this example, we have 20 modules on a single string connected in a 2-to-1 configuration on a single optimizer. And again, my safe DC voltage is only 10 volts. In this next example, we're looking at a 2-to-1 setup with a parallel configuration. This is typically done with a thin film module. You can see the power max is 145 watts. The voltage at negative 20 degrees Celsius is 121.4, and my short circuit current is 2.2 amps. And again, I'm going to verify that the P405 works in this example. The reason that they are not installed in series is the voltage would become too high. So I paralleled them. So how do you parallel 2 modules? You basically have to buy a Y connector. You take the 2 negatives, parallel them with a Y connector, and then connect it to the optimizer. And the 2 positives are paralleled with a Y connector and then plugged into the optimizer. When we parallel, we know voltage stays constant and current becomes additive. So the current is only 4.4 amps. If you were to think about it, you might even be able to do 3 modules in a parallel circuit to a single optimizer. The current would be 6.6 amps and the wattage would be 375 watts, which is still lower than 405 watts. So here again, we have 20 modules in a series circuit with power optimizers, and the safe DC voltage is 10 volts.
For additional information and access to more in-depth tutorials, go to SolarEdge.com, select Login and e-Learning to get access to the library of SolarEdge learning materials.